What's up, dude? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So yeah, I am knocking out my third video of the day. It is Wednesday, and this will be my third video that I've completed today. If I can get literally one more done, that means I won't have to work on another video until Monday. Like, I won't have to upload another video until Monday. That would be nice because I got a lot of other shit to do. That doesn't mean I won't still be working on videos. It just means that like I've cut myself out a little window of like breathing room, which feels really good because I'm trying to be consistent when it comes to posting videos. Anyways, today for you guys, I am drinking a Herbalife fried ice cream protein shake. Every now and then I get in a kick and I just like that's literally all I want to have is just these shakes cuz they don't make me feel bloated. I don't feel gross. I know they aren't really like that healthy. So this isn't me promoting them or anything. I'm just saying that's what I'm drinking because I forget that sometimes you guys can see what's right next to me. Like on my camera, on my viewfinder, what I'm seeing right now is literally, here, I'll try to do it like a square for you guys. That's all I can see. So like anything else that you guys can see, I don't know about. So then when I watch my videos back and I'm just like, oh, that's right, I should have told you guys what I was drinking. Not that you guys care, but maybe it would be interesting. Anyways, let's jump into today's case. So today's case is a little bit different. It's called the Flannan Isle mystery. It doesn't have anything to do with murder per se. It's still interesting, and it's just kind of like weird and ooky spooky sort of. So on December 15th, 1900, the transatlantic Archer passed near the Flannan Isle at night, and they noticed that something was off. So Archer was a ship that was passing through. The Flannan Isle is a small group of islands in the outer Hebrides of Scotland, and the lighthouse was built in 1899, so it was literally only a year old. But the weird thing that the guys noticed on the ship was that the lighthouse was completely dark, which if you know literally that much about lighthouses, it's that there's supposed to be a big light that's going like woo 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 woo, and well, it doesn't make noises, but it is turned on. So and that is literally the point of the lighthouse keeper, is just to make sure that the lighthouse is always lit up, because that's literally its one job, is to let you know that land is there and the light's on. That's it. It wasn't until a few days later that the news of the dark lighthouse was passed on to the Northern Lighthouse Board, who in turn quickly sent out a crew to investigate what was going on. When the relief vessel got to the island, the captain, Jim Harvey, signaled with the horn and shot a flare into the sky, but he got no response. One of the lighthouse crew members, who was on relief at the time, so he was off working, Joseph Moore, he was sent to the shore to investigate. Upon arrival, he found out that the lighthouse door was unlocked, and 2 of the 3 oilskin coats that hung in the entryway of the lighthouse were missing. Joseph took a look around the lighthouse, and he didn't find anything else missing or noticeably out of place. After he went back to the relief vessel and told the captain, the captain, ordered that the rest of the island be searched immediately, because if there are hurt or missing men, they need to know about it. That search was also unsuccessful in that they didn't find anything new. Like, they didn't find the men, they didn't find, like, what could have happened to them. It's not like they found, like, wolf tracks or something. They're like, they got mauled by a wolf. Nothing like that. The only thing that they were able to conclude was that the island had recently been hit by a massive storm. Even though a supply box had been over 100 feet above sea level, it was still found smashed to pieces with its content thrown all over the ground. The remnants of the box were found primarily around the western landing platform. It's not odd for an island to get hit by a massive storm, but one of this magnitude just like hadn't really been seen by these guys before. Turf was ripped up at the top of the cliff, iron railings were bent and deformed, a railway track that was torn from its concrete moorings, and an enormous rock that weighed more than a ton was missing. I think it's so funny that, like, we use rocks and stuff as, like, an indicator of, like, location and severity of like weather events. Like if a rock gets shifted, you'll notice that, and then it's like, oh, that was bad. And then also, like, I found, if, like, you're driving out in the middle of nowhere and stuff and you see, like, one rock kind of off by itself, for some reason, you'll notice that. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I did have to drive past this rock to get back to the main road or whatever. It's just, like, super weird. But, like, rocks can be super helpful. And I just think it's really funny. Like, okay, think about, like, driving around town. Literally, okay, I can literally tell you, I know where one of my friends lives purely because of a rock that's at the end of her block. I don't think I could find her house unless I first came upon this rock. And it's used just as like a decorative lawn ornament kind of. It's just like in a rock bed. But literally, I couldn't make it to her house if I didn't first see that rock. Super weird, but just like think about it for a moment because it's not as crazy as it like sounds. So Jim, the captain, sent a telegram to the mainland, which was then passed on back to the Northern Lighthouse Board in Edinburgh, saying, a dreadful accident has happened at Flannan's. The 3 keepers, Ducat, Marshall, and the Occasional, have disappeared from the island. On our arrival, that's hard to say, try saying it, on our arrival, there this afternoon, no sign of life was to be seen on the island. Fired a rocket, but as no response was made, managed to land Moore, who went up to the station but found no keepers there. The clocks were stopped, and other signs indicated that the accident must have happened about a week ago. Harvey concluded, poor fellows, they must have been blown over the cliffs or drowned trying to secure a crane or something like that. The island had been associated with strangeness, and Joseph Moore, the first guy onto the island, investigating, he even said that when he set foot on the island, he had an immediate sense of, like, foreboding, which, that could have just been anxiety, because I've had that before. The only wildlife or inhabitants of any kind were some sheep, and the sheep herders themselves refused to stay on the island once it got dark because they were afraid of the various ghosts and phantasms that supposedly lurked there. It just kind of sounds like folklore a little bit, kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. It's like no one's ever seen her, but we just know that, like, oh, she's living there in that body of water. So, I don't know. Conspiracy theorists think that the men might have been devoured by some dark sea monster, carried away by giant birds, or even abducted by aliens, which I have to admit, those are all fun things to believe happened. Like, I'm not opposed to thinking that they got sucked up by some aliens that were like, oh, these 3 guys out in the middle of nowhere, let's take them with us. Beam me up, Scotty. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a fun thought for sure. There was a reported logbook that supposedly contained haunting and bizarre entries written between December 13th, no, I think it was December 12th. I have the number in here written wrong. December 12th and December 15th of 1900. Supposedly, according to these entries, one of the lighthouse crew members reported a storm that was far worse than anything they had witnessed before, and one of the crew was unusually quiet, and the other, who was a seasoned mariner, was weeping. The next entry in the logbook said that all 3 of the men were praying to God for help, even though they were perfectly safe in the lighthouse. Like, look, if there's one thing about lighthouses, it's that they're sturdy. They're skinny at the top, but then they got that fat, wide base. Like, they're sturdy. They're typically made of, like, brick or rock or, like, concrete of some sort, depending on the time period. So, I mean, like, they're very sturdy. If I was in a lighthouse and a storm hit, I'd be like, you know what? If this lighthouse gets taken out, I had 0 chance of surviving this storm anyway. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That is odd. Maybe they were just really anxious, or they too felt an impending, like, sense of doom or something. The last entry said that the storm had ended and that God is all over all, which is very odd. And, so, like, the fact that there was a entry written after the storm was supposedly done, like, that just shows you that, like, oh, yeah, they were alive, they made it through the storm. What happened then? Well, we don't know. Captain Harvey said that the 3 of the men at the lighthouse were probably just lost at sea, which really I think is the most logical conclusion, out of this whole thing. An investigation was done on the island and led by Robert Moorhead, and he concluded that 2 of the men probably went out to tie down the equipment that was stored near the western landing, and when they didn't return, the 3rd man probably went out to check on them, and then he too was just, like, swept out to sea. Look, if there's one thing about people, it's that we always be procrastinating. The storm probably hit, and then they were like, oh, crap, we totally forgot to tie down this boat. And then they went out, and then just got, like, sucked right out to sea. Who knows? Some people think that maybe one of the crew at the lighthouse, William MacArthur, MacArthur is how it's written out and how it should be pronounced, which is so Scottish, who was known to be cranky, might have killed the other two men before ultimately killing himself. Do lighthouse keepers have weapons at the lighthouse? Hang on, we're going to do a quick Google search. Nothing says anything about a lighthouse keeper having a gun. I'm going to look up, maybe not guns, but let's just try, like, weapons. Maybe Google doesn't, like... No. It doesn't say, so I'm kind of thinking that no. However, the 3 duties of a lighthouse keeper are routine cleaning, polishing, and maintenance work, and then general housekeeping duties. Every day except for Sunday. Well, okay. So who knows if they even had a gun there, which means this is more than likely not the case that he killed them. And then another theory is that maybe a fight broke out and all 3 of the men fell over the cliff. I just have to say, I feel like if, I was fighting with somebody and we were getting near the cliff, I'd be like, oh, whoa, hold on. Let's move back a little bit. Let's get away from the cliff. You know what I mean? Like, even if I was fighting someone, unless I was genuinely scared that they were going to kill me first, I wouldn't push them over the edge of a cliff purposely. So I don't really know about that one. But anyways, that is today's story for you guys. Let me know if you found this one interesting. Maybe we'll talk about more like strange happenings, kind of like this, just like weird mysteries, maybe some conspiracy theories. I don't believe in many conspiracy theories, but I do think that they can be very fun to listen to. They're kind of fun to see how people came to the conclusions that they did. So just let me know how you guys feel about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you don't, totally cool. Thanks for watching this video. I do appreciate that out of you. But for everyone else that will be back tomorrow, I will have another story for you, another true crime career video, and it will be Max Jacobson. And at this moment, I have not researched anything for that video, so I have no idea what it's even about at this point in time. So, anyways, it'll be a surprise to both of us. All right, bye, guys.